Hey everybody, it's Insomniac Round 2. We are broadcasting live from the beautiful country of the United States of America and broadcasting directly across the seas to the wonderful country of the United Kingdom, Great Britain, and also known as the home of Good Queen Bess. But, more specifically, we are broadcasting directly into the home of Miss Laurie Meadows. Laurie, welcome to the show, darling. You're looking fabulous. I can't really see you, but I trust nonetheless. Now, today I kind of wanted to talk to you about something that we touched on, in the conversation we've had previously, about the vocabulary differences between our two great nations. Well, necessarily great nations. Mine's better than yours, which was, proven by the fact that we kicked your sorry asses 300 years ago, and us Americans, we never forget a win. In fact, we rub it in your faces once a year on July 4th. We call it Independence Day, but it's technically just a big giant F-U to Great Britain. But we digress. But nonetheless, back to the topic at hand, vocabulary differences. It really does amaze me how Americans and English people can speak the same language, but then again, we don't speak the same language at the same time. We have completely different dialects almost. So what I did is I went and compiled a top 10 of the English-American differences that I know, that I find the most hysterical. And I decided I would share them with you today. So, get out your pen and paper, and we are going to be educated. So, Miss Meadows, number 1 is the word buns. Now, to you, I'm sure that is just a regular old dinner roll or slice of bread. Well, over here in America, if you went to downtown Manhattan and you walked into a bakery and you tried to ask the owner for some hot and sticky buns, well, it wouldn't exactly end the way you wanted it to. It would end up with a policeman's visit, a lawyer's note, and a sexual harassment case in court. Not exactly the ending that most people would be going for in a bakery, but, what can you say? Number 2 is the word rubber. Now, over there in England, I'm told that the word rubber is an eraser. Whether it be on a pencil or it be one of those little block erasers that we used to always use in elementary school or primary school. But a rubber doesn't mean the same thing here in America, obviously. In fact, it means something much more sexual in nature. So, it makes me see the scenario of an English gent coming up to an American and asking him if he could borrow a stick with a rubber. And while the American is horrified and trying to process this ghastly request in his mind, the Englishman then asks the American if he can make sure it is a new stick with a rubber, because he has a bad tendency to chew on them. Yeah, not exactly the most comfortable of situations, if you know what I mean. Moving on, number 3 is the term fag. Now, we've been over this one before, which brings up the timeless scenario of an Englishman asking an American, "Hello, sir, would you like a fag?" And the American promptly responding, "No, thank you, sir, I am very straight." Very awkward encounterment, I would think. Number 4 is the term faggots. Yes, we went plural here. Faggots. I'm told in England that faggots is to refer to a dish of meatballs made out of liver with gravy, or it can also be used to refer to a group of firewood for kindling, which brings up the very interesting scenarios of if an American was told that they were having faggots for dinner, or if they were asked to go out into the woods and get back with some faggots. Very odd request that might make some of us squirm. Just a bit. Number 5 is the term knocked up. Now, over here in America, that has a very derogatory meaning. It is used for a girl who has been made pregnant. We use the term knocked up. Not exactly the most joyous of occasions, because most of the time when that term is used, it wasn't intentional. However, in England, I am told that that means to awake someone in the morning for an engagement that they have. Which brings up the hilarious scenario to me of if I was to visit England and an old gent were to tell me that I need not worry about waking up, I need not worry about my alarm clock, because he would be more than happy to come knock me up in the morning. And whereas I will be sitting on my bed, clutching my pillow tightly to my chest, rocking back and forth, crying, in fear of this English gentleman barging into my room and brutally raping me at twilight, he is simply offering to wake me up so I may get ready for my engagement. Funny scenario indeed. Number 6 is the term Randy. Now over here in America, it's just a common first name. People are named Randy all the time. However, I'm told in England that the term I'm Randy can also mean I'm horny, which makes a more than hilarious scenario pop into my head of a young American executive who is just budding at the top of his career. And he has an interview with this British company, this British powerhouse. And he has a personal interview with the CEO of said company. So he travels to London, and as the secretary is showing this executive into the CEO's office, he's thinking, you know what, I'm going to show my drive, I'm going to show my determination, and my get-it-done attitude by just introducing myself and starting out the interview myself. So without further ado, the young American walks right up to the British CEO, sticks out his hand, and says, "Good day, sir. I'm Randy." And oh my gosh, can you just imagine the look on that British CEO's eyes as it just pops out of his head, and he's just sitting here going, he immediately sits down on his chair and crosses his legs with a look at his secretary like, get him the bloody hell out of here. Now! That would be the fastest interview in business history. I shit you not. Number 6. No, I'm sorry, not number 6. We just did number 6. Number 7 is the term drive a stick. Now, here in America, we use that terminology to refer to driving a manual transmission on a car. But I'm told in England that only, for the most part, only the luxury cars have automatic transmissions, like Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Beamer, etc. Therefore, a term for a manual transmission is not needed because most of the cars are manual transmissions. See, I can't even speak my own language now. Because you guys have a lot of turns in your roads. I don't know how accurate that is, but it's what I was told. So, which makes me think how hilarious it would be if a young American were to go take driver's ed in England and ask his driving instructor to teach him how to drive a stick. That, I would suspect, would be a lesson not soon forgotten and a messy one indeed. Moving on to other subjects. Number 8 is the term being easy. Now here in America, the term being easy means basically they will sleep with anyone. However, I'm told in Britain that it means that you're just easy to get along with. If you're out with a group of friends and they say, well, what do you want to do? And you say, I don't know. I'm easy. I don't really care. We can do whatever. That would lead for an interesting scenario if a British girl were to come here to the States and, well, hanging out with a big group, and a couple of guys asked her, hey, what do you want to do? And she goes, I don't know, I'm easy. And they're like, oh, hell yes! That would lead to probably a couple lawsuits, maybe, I don't know, sexual harassment case, jail time, possibly a possibility of parole. Not exactly a good situation in any stretch of the imagination. Moving on to number 9. Number 9 is shag. S-H-A-G, shag. Over here in America, shag is a type of dance. It's a dance that we do. It's older dance from, 70s, 80s era. It's not really done much anymore, but, it's still around for those that like to relive the glory days. However, I'm told that, well, you British people have a slightly more sexual interpretation of the word, and because of that, it would make this scenario very, very interesting. So at a bar, you might American shag with a girl on the dance floor, but if you get her to knock back enough Jack Daniels, you might get to English shag with her later that evening. Some people would call that a happy ending. I just don't know. And finally, number 10. Number 10 is a subject where most men, especially American men, myself included, dare not go, and that is in the world of feminine products. I do this for the comical genius of it, nothing else. Over here, there's a feminine product, we call them women's pads. However, I'm told that an alternate term for them in England is towels. You guys call them towels. Which leads to this funny-ass scenario where a young man, American man, goes to stay in a hotel in England, And he realizes that he has no towels, American bath towels, in his bathroom because the maid service has not come yet. So, before he takes a shower, he goes down to the desk where there's a young English girl standing there, and she, what can I do for you, sir? And he says, well, I'm sorry to bother you, but I seem to have run out of towels in my room, and I would like to request some more. Can you just see the look on her face? It's almost as if she'd be like, oh my god, surgery in America is fabulous! Oh my god, bloody hell, it works so well. And that, dear one, rounds out the top 10 of words and terms that I have come to be familiar with thus far. There are probably still more to come. And I hope this experience has been educational for you, as well as absolutely hilarious, as it has been for me. And I suppose I shall leave you, for now, with a saying that I have heard so often. God save the Queen!